Good afternoon and welcome to Lariat TV News Today. A Texas A&M student may have contracted China's coronavirus over the holiday break.
Brazos County health officials are awaiting test results to see if the virus has made its way to Texas.
LTVN has team coverage on this developing story from Brinshavia Jordan and Grace Smith.
One Texas A&M student traveled to Wuhan, China, where the coronavirus began to spread. Upon returning to Texas, he felt cold and flu-like symptoms and admitted himself to the ER, where he was tested for the disease. The student is currently isolated and improving while waiting on the test results, which should be returned by the CDC between Saturday and Monday. According to the WebMD, the coronavirus is a kind of common virus causing respiratory issues similar to the cold and flu. The virus has been identified in 7 countries with more than a dozen deaths. 25 million have been quarantined in China, including 11 million in the city of Wuhan. U.S.-bound travelers from the affected areas have been redirected to 5 U.S. airports for screening once they arrive. Authorities are desperately trying to stop the spread of the disease, and there is no vaccination at this point. Once again, the Texas A&M student is not confirmed and is self-isolated. LTVN's Grace Smith checked with the Baylor health officials to find out what precautions they are taking during this outbreak.
The coronavirus coming from China has hit the United States, and the CDC is closely investigating a case only 90 miles away from Baylor's campus. The Baylor Medical Clinic says that they are closely monitoring the situation and that they are working with the county health district to make sure that the Baylor community stays safe.
We don't know a whole lot about it. It causes respiratory symptoms, and most of the cases have been mild. There have been some severe cases, including hospitalizations and some deaths in China.
Since the non-confirmed case of the coronavirus at Texas A&M, the Baylor Clinic is taking precautions.
We always are careful to watch any of the guidelines that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention put out. And we also work closely with the Waco-McLennan County Public Health District. On an individual basis, we definitely do ask about travel with anybody who's ill with any kind of symptoms, because sometimes travel plays a role.
The clinic gave students a few tips on how to stay healthy.
Main ways to stay healthy are the ways you keep from getting the flu and colds and everything else. Try to get plenty of sleep, eat a healthy diet, wash your hands before you touch your face, before you eat. And honestly, try to avoid being or sitting close to people who are ill, because that is where we tend to catch things, is from other people.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Grace Smith.
A handful of Baylor students came home to a rude awakening after the holiday break. With homeowners gone and houses vacant, there was a spike in break-ins. I went to Baylor students' houses off campus to check out property damage and hear a story of the strangest of entries through a doggy door. Intense robberies occurred in multiple Baylor students' homes over winter break, as was the case for this house directly behind me, where someone climbed on the roof and broke into the vent on the back of the house. A reality check that perhaps the Baylor bubble isn't always so safe.
I think it's just known in Waco that, the college kids leave for breaks.
Junior Alexander Choppa's house was broken into through their pet door.
All of our doors, our bedroom doors, interior doors were all broken. So that's the first sign.
Not only were there signs of damage, but also signs of living.
They definitely took a shower in my shower. We believe it was probably like a homeless person that probably just ended up slept in our room or in our house.
Choppa's house was robbed of many valuables, but not the TVs. Unlike a house right down the block whose TVs had all been stolen, among other items.
4 Xboxes, 2 TVs.
A bunch of Jordans and hats. Yeah. They stole my Bible. They stole my monogrammed Bible. I'm not over that one, but I hope they read it.
Across LaSalle, senior Noah Oshana came home to his back door wide open.
Went inside, saw everything on the floor, on the countertops, everything was, all bedroom doors open, TVs missing, so that's kind of how I realized that we actually got robbed.
Some advice, probably if you're going home for a long period of time, Christmas break, spring break, I would probably take as many valuables as you can with you, because you never know what's going to happen.
And just be aware of what's going on.
And get a renter's insurance.
That too.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Sarah Gill. I followed up with Sergeant Patrick Swatton of the Waco Police Department to get some tips so you can prevent becoming a victim of a home break-in. He said criminals know students are gone, but police officers know as well. Waco PD works with Baylor Patrol to increase presence in residential areas. The key is to make your house look lived in while you're gone. Invest in some timers to put on your lights and consider leaving a radio or television on. You can also check with trusted neighbors to pick up your mail and newspaper.
This week, a Waco native, the late Doris Miller, was honored for his heroism in World War II, which left an impact that still resonates today. So much so that the U.S. Navy announced an aircraft carrier is to be named in his honor. Miller was the first African American awarded the Navy Cross for his courageous actions during the 1941 attack on Pearl Harbor. He helped his shipmates by breaking racial boundaries and manning an anti-aircraft gun to fend off Japanese forces. The USS Doris Miller, to be commissioned in 2030, will be the first aircraft carrier named after an African American. Miller was killed in action in 1943 and is now memorialized on the banks on the Brazos and honored as the namesake of the Waco Veterans Hospital. Every other U.S. aircraft carrier is named after a president or admiral.
Former Baylor University President Ken Starr recently joined President Trump's legal team before the ongoing impeachment hearings. Prior to serving at Baylor for 6 years, Starr investigated Bill Clinton during his impeachment trial in 1999. Following Starr's demotion by the university after the 2016 sexual assault scandal, he worked as a contributor for Fox News. Starr will be on the clock for the next 2 weeks until the impeachment trial concludes sometime around February 4th, the same date as President Trump's State of the Union speech.
To promote and recognize extraordinary teachers, Baylor University awarded a prestigious Robert Foster Cherry Award to Dr. Jennifer Cognard-Black. Standing out for her ability to inspire and positively impact students, she was chosen from a record number of nominees for this year's award. As a consolation, finalists from the University of Florida and Texas A&M each received $15,000. Dr. Cognard-Black will receive an award of $250,000 and is expected to teach in the English department at Baylor during the fall 2020 semester.
If you're a freshman looking to make an impact in the Baylor community, be on the lookout for an important email from student government. A freshman senator has just stepped down from office and the vacant position won't last long, since class officers plan to fill this promptly. Student Body Internal Vice President Brooke Beard explains the process of selecting a new freshman senator.
The freshman class officers send out a class-wide email to the entire freshman class, and they're like, hey, we have an opening. Would anyone be interested? And there's an application on that email. Just like if you're passionate about Baylor, passionate about wanting to see a change and like a really cool leadership environment, I would very much encourage them to apply.
Up next, you'll find out how new vape laws have affected local tobacco shops.
And we'll show you the traditions of Baylor through the eyes of student vloggers.
The best and brightest are drawn to Baylor, where those from many backgrounds with many talents shine together before casting their light outward to illuminate the world. Through transformational learning opportunities that are grounded in Christian faith and service, and research that impacts lives and communities. Baylor University, a place where lights shine bright.
Baylor is ranked in the top 10 yet again. The university's entrepreneurship program has turned ideas into realities since 1977 and even helped put chocolate on shelves. I talked to Baylor graduate about his sweet success coming out of the program. Dreaming of starting your own business one day? Well, Baylor's entrepreneurship program can certainly help you out with that. Not only is it one of the oldest in the United States, but for the 11th straight year, it is in the nation's top 10.
I really think it's the combination of theories and classroom work and practice and application out in the business world that makes our program really special.
With the success of hundreds of students starting their own businesses around the world, the program strives to help these students understand their personal strengths and weaknesses while connecting them to outside resources.
One of the things we try to teach our students is that you need to be aware of your surroundings, alert to things that are going on around you, and so you're kind of well positioned to take advantage of situations that arise that might allow you to be successful.
And this Baylor graduate certainly did just that.
So I decided to used my degree at the entrepreneurship program to start a chocolate company called Splendid Oaks Chocolates. The entrepreneurship program here was really awesome just because there's a lot of staff that has entrepreneurial experience. I felt like you always got out of it what you put into it. I didn't realize how much of the tools I learned through certain classes here I would end up using in like the actual day-to-day business.
It's a great time to be an entrepreneur or to be interested in entrepreneurship, and Baylor is one of the great places to do that.
I am planning on opening a store hopefully in mid-March where I'll have all the chocolates as well as ice cream and then some other kind of cool and creative stuff that I'm working on that I haven't seen anybody else do in the chocolate industry yet. So I'm pretty excited about that stuff.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Grace Smith.
It's part of a professor's job to make students work, but in the Department of Art and Art History, it's also their job to show students their own work. The faculty biennial exhibition at Baylor's Martin Museum showcases the work of Baylor faculty who are practicing professionals in their respective fields of specialization. Students are welcome to see the work of 19 professors free of charge until March 1st. Senior lecturer Greg Llewellyn believes this will enrich the student-professor relationship in the classroom.
I think it's really important that our students understand that we are actually working artists and they're learning things from working artists. It's not just, it gives us an opportunity for us to say to them, we don't just talk the talk, we walk the walk of an artist.
Baylor students have taken on a new challenge, seeing the university through a camera lens. 10 Bears highlighted different parts of the BU experience and gave viewers an inside look into the life in Waco. I caught up with these vloggers to get their opinion on this viral trend.
This is the first spot, the iconic Judge Baylor statue.
But the best thing about Penland, especially on Wednesday, is the wings. Oh gosh.
What is line camp, you ask?
These current Baylor students are showing viewers what it's like to be a Baylor Bear through vlogging.
We were looking at showcasing sort of like the, sort of presenting a virtual tour of what Baylor would be, but in a really modern, contemporary kind of video way that is a vlog.
A YouTube sensation that is said to be one of the most popular types of video content, reaching the eyes of billions each day.
Really loved that I got to make it my own, so I got to add like little funny touches. There's a part where I'm like holding a dinosaur and we're like making weird faces at each other. So it's just like a really cool opportunity to kind of, be yourself and kind of show the Baylor family, how the students are here, like what it's like.
I really think it would help the students that are considering Baylor because they're like really getting in the action of like what's like social life is like there and what like the food is like there and like what the traditions are like there. So I definitely would encourage students to watch the videos.
I know like when I was an incoming freshman, I wasn't really sure like what orientation and especially line camp, like that's something that's super unique to Baylor, like what that looked like. And so like I would try to do some research, and this is a very like tangible way where you can like see exactly what you'll be doing.
So be on the lookout for more vlogs like these in the future. It has been said that people oftentimes feel connection when they feel like they are part of a community. Well, vlogs have a great way of sending that connection right through the computer screen. For LTVN, I'm Grace Smith.
Imagine enrolling in a course to raise $75,000 for nonprofits. That's exactly what Baylor University's Philanthropy and Public Good course achieved and celebrated with 6 local community organizations. The course was composed of 25 local community members across the 5 areas of Baylor's Solid Gold Neighbor Initiative: economic development, health, education, cultural wealth, and city growth. The students evaluated 67 nonprofit organizations and ultimately landed on 6 to fund. The organizations that received a portion of the combined funds are the Christian Women's Job Corps, Talitha Kum Institute, the Family Abuse Center, Greater Waco Legal Services, Inspiration, and the Cove.
Smoke and vapor shops are racing against the clock before a new ban goes into effect at the end of the month. LTVN's Igor Stepshinsky tells us what's being taken off the shelves and has one shop owner's reaction towards the new vaping regulations.
The government's fight against vaping is far from going up in smoke. The Food and Drug Administration has issued a federal ban on pre-filled flavored nicotine pods beginning February 1st. While vaping stores and manufacturers are offering discount prices for pods flavored like pink lemonade and strawberry jam cookie, flavored disposable devices and flavored e-liquids are here to stay.
Smoke shops across the nation are encouraging vape enthusiasts to stock up while they can. Starting February 1st, the only flavors available for pre-filled nicotine pods will be menthol and tobacco. The owner of Waco's Bosky Smoke and Vapor Shop, who asked to remain anonymous, is doing whatever he can to clear his stock before his shop is inspected.
They are going to come and check it out. So we have to clear all the pods, all the flavor pods before February 1st. And we kept a big sale on it. We got a big quantity right now, so we kept a big sale on it to just as a clearance.
While it's another step to combat teen vaping, the ban does not apply to flavored disposable devices and bottled e-liquids, which were already popular for being more cost-effective.
The disposables are still there, so it's not going to affect too much on a business. Major vapors usually go for the regular juices rather than the jewel pods and all. It was more cheaper to get it.
The minimum age to purchase tobacco products in the state of Texas is now officially 21, but according to the owner, smoke shops are not the culprit for underage vaping.
Every store follow the law. All the kids who are getting it, they're getting it online. So if they wanted to ban it, they have to take a restriction on online. That would be the right precaution matter.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Igor Stepchinsky.
The first month of the year is almost over. How are your New Year's resolutions going? Many students decide to take exercising as their top priority but easily get sidetracked. Baylor football might just be your answer. Workout classes range from barre to yoga and even taekwondo. You have until next Monday to attend a class for free, and after that you can access all the classes for only $50 a semester. I went to Bear Cycle and Russell Gym to see how students are encouraging each other to exercise. Baylor Fitwell has been offering free classes all week long, so I decided to try one out for myself. Bear Cycle. Kiki Oliver is a sophomore student and she's also a Fitwell instructor. Kiki, tell me a little bit about how you got involved as a Fitwell instructor.
So my freshman year, I started coming to these classes, and there was a senior named Annalise who was instructing, and she came up to me one day and was like, have you ever thought about being an instructor? You have really good energy and you seem really passionate about it. After that, I got in contact with the department, and I went through all the training necessary for it.
Think of the last set. I wish I was in a whole class.
Tell me a little bit about your class today. What was your favorite part?
Okay, my favorite part is the dance aspect, just because it's really easy for me to keep up with.
Yes, that's awesome. What about you?
This was actually my very first class. I had never been to one before, and so I was like worried about going in there and like making a fool of myself. But no, like our instructor, the whole class, everyone was like super nice. She didn't expect like us to come in and already be experts, which it was just a good environment.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Sarah Gill.
Coming up, we'll hear from Baylor football's newest Bear, Dave Aranda.
Drake will also give us the latest on men's and women's basketball and who's number 1 and 2 in the country right after this break.
At Baylor, our lights shine
while we push our limits
and guide the way.
At Baylor, our lights shine as we're making connections
and making an impression
as leaders
and as part of something bigger.
Baylor's light shines around the world, but it starts in each of us. Baylor, where lights shine bright.
There's a new face in Waco that brings promise of continued success on the gridiron, as LSU defensive coordinator Dave Aranda has been named Baylor's 28th head football coach. Aranda, fresh off of a national championship with the Bayou Bengals, met with fans and media for the first time on Monday. With loose ends of recruiting and replacing staff still to be tied, Aranda and athletic director Mac Rhodes took time to express their excitement and expectations moving ahead into the new era.
When this job came open, I said, this is in my heart. This is me. I feel like this is God talking to me.
Had a great pool of candidates. And we just kept coming back. I just kept coming back to coach Aranda.
Guys, I'm so excited to be the head coach at Baylor. I'm excited to be working for y'all. right? This is just the start. Sick 'em Bears.
Earlier this week, the #1 ranked men's basketball squad outlasted Oklahoma in a victory that serves as a landmark for the team in more ways than one. With the win, the Bears not only extended the nation's second longest winning streak to 15 games, but also it was their first home win as the top-ranked team in the country. The squad is back in action this Saturday when they travel to Gainesville to take on the Florida Gators in the Big 12 SEC Challenge. Here's head coach Scott Drew on how he thinks the Bears will fare in this weekend's primetime matchup.
I know they want to represent the Big 12, and we're going to do all we can to do it the right way. And obviously, Florida coming in the year, everyone thought that Final Four team, and now it looks like they're back playing like that. So it'll be a great game.
The Lady Bears extended their record conference winning streak to a whopping 46 games with their 28th straight victory over rival TCU in Fort Worth on Wednesday, 66-57. The second-ranked Bears look to continue their record-setting ways on Saturday when they host the Texas Tech Lady Red Raiders at 2 p.m. in the Farrell Center. Here are guard Moon Urson's thoughts on why her squad has been so dominant as of late.
We just have so many weapons. Elsie, she continues to dominate, and you got Liz, just a sophomore, killing it, and our guard play is great. So I think knowing that we can do it and just the way we've been playing, and we're all pulling for each other like Coach said, that makes a big difference.
From the basketball court to the tennis court, the 5th-ranked Bears swept Nebraska 7-0 on Monday to extend their record on the young season to an undefeated 3-0. Head coach Brian Bolin and company hope to keep the ball rolling on Saturday when they host Gonzaga at the Hawkins Indoor Tennis Center to start off the ITA kickoff tournament. The winner of the match will face either Louisville or New Mexico in the championship at 3 p.m. Sunday. The overall winner will land a spot in the ITA National Team Indoor Championships, which will take place the weekend of February 14th at the University of Wisconsin. On the women's side, the Lady Bears added 2 wins to their record after sweeping a doubleheader on Monday. After wins over McNeese State 7-0 and UTSA 5-2, the Lady Bears are undefeated through 3 matches. Baylor was led by Angie Shakrachuk, who clutched her 50th career singles win against the Cowgirls. Shakrachuk also won doubles matches in both contests alongside Chris Sorokolet. Baylor will now travel to Oxford, Mississippi, where they'll face Ole Miss and Mississippi State on February 1st and 2nd. That's all from a fun week in sports.
Thank you for joining us today. Be sure to check us out on YouTube, BaylorLariat.com, or the Waco City channel.
We'll see you Friday for our next newscast. Have a great day, Baylor Nation.